think if Strickland's going via submission, I think he's going out cold. I think if Hamzat is going out at the later rounds, I think he's fighting until he can't physically do anything anymore. Alright, welcome back to another video over here on SCS Combat, and today we are here for UFC 328 video, the prediction video. I'm well aware it is the day of the fight, but we gotta keep it moving. We'll keep it going like this until I have more time to actually get more videos out that I want to get out. Alright, so starting off, it's actually sort of a good thing that I have left this so late, because the events that have unfolded in the past 24 hours has been insane. Yesterday I was sitting watching the weigh-ins, and it was very clear Sean Strickland weighed in first, 185-pound, makes the weight, and we're waiting. And like going through Twitter, see nothing about Hamzat, left it for like half an hour, come back, still see no update on Hamzat, and I go on to the weigh-in show. I will be live for Worley Dubois and, most importantly, UFC 328 going down tonight. Do not miss it. You're sitting there and I'm watching DC talk Weidman and what's your top 3 one fight feuds and all this here, and they were going through it, and you're still waiting, and there's no Hamzat, and it comes down to it. Hamzat Chimaev was the last person to weigh in at this weigh-in, and it's not like he was there and the last one to weigh in and it was like an hour left or something. Hamzat Chimaev midweight was 17 minutes left, and if he didn't make it by then, he would have lost his middleweight world title. We also seen him kick Sean Strickland with a low blow or stomp to the knee. It was one of the two. I think it was a low blow at the face-off after the press conference, which was just crazy. I mean, Sean Strickland did his usual stuff. I'm not repeating anything he says, that's for certain. Then you have Chimaev over here. He's just screaming at the top of his lungs anything he can get out of his mouth. Like, it was an unbelievable press conference, but you could not make out a word they were saying. Like, Chimaev's just shouting over the top of Strickland, who's trying to shout over the top of Chimaev. And then we're getting questions in the crowd from fanboys, like straight up fanboys in the crowd, like getting questions. All that aside, I think the weigh-in changed this fight a bit, because there's no hiding it that no matter how well you can train, a rough cut can really deplete a fighter no matter what they do after the weigh-in. And this fight's interesting, and it's more interesting than you would maybe think, because we have seen fighters like Islam Makhachev come out and say that Sean Strickland is actually a better like grappler and better scrambler than people would have thought, and that he's hard to hold down. And that's Chimaev. You have to think that if Chimaev can't hold Strickland down, then this fight gets very, very interesting. And if we were to sort of go into that scenario, I could see this fight ending the way that Sean Strickland beat Abu Smagomedov. See, to be honest, and Hamzat is clearly 100 times better than him, with even 100 times better cardio. The style of it is what I'm on about, where Abus does good in the first round, but Strickland just keeps going and going and going, and then eventually Abus breaks in the second round and Sean gets him out of there. That could happen to Hamzat if he can't get the takedowns, or even if he can, but he's not like Merab, where if he can't hold him down and Sean just keeps getting back up, eventually he stops going for the takedowns because the cardio is depleted, or depleting and depleted potentially. Then this fight gets very interesting, and you'll see Strickland start to take over with his boxing, because ruthless goes forward. He can take a good punch. Pereira, I mean, Pereira's that left hook is something that probably won't be replicated in this sport, but Strickland is very good at going forward. Eventually those tapes to the body, Chimaev will catch that leg, but if he doesn't, or if he gives up on the takedowns at some point in the fight, then you have to think that that tape to the body is going to be something that could hurt Chimaev. And this is just one angle, don't worry, I'll go through the other possibility. But I think one thing that still always sticks out to me no matter what is the Kamaru Usman fight, where Chimaev gassed so early, and maybe I'm just looking into things too much because of the last fight with Dricus, and he held him down for so long. But Dricus had nothing for him on the ground, you know what I mean? And it was a very easy fight for Hamzat Chimaev, let's be honest here. And I hate to put it that way, because I think Dricus is actually a good fighter, and to see him go out like that was bad. But it's true that he had nothing to offer Chimaev that night on the ground, and I think that any sort of ability to scramble, to roll, to do anything would have got him out of there, but not got him up, I mean, but would have made the fight more competitive. And Hamzat didn't really have to expend as much energy as he would sometimes. Like when you look at that Kamaru Usman fight, he had to hold on to Usman's back standing for minutes, then his legs started to go, and then he got tired. But if Hamzat takes you down very easily, and this is the other angle, Hamzat takes you down very easily and can control you on that ground, it's a long day for you. And not even to say that he might not go for a submission, and he might not land ground and pound. I'm pretty sure he had DDP and a crucifix about 15 times in that fight, and all he did was throw pillow punches. So what's his sort of intentions? Can vary. He knocked out Kyle Dawkins. He broke Robert Whittaker's jaw with that choke, and then he goes out there in his last fight and he holds DDP down for 5 rounds and does nothing. Hamzat just didn't do anything in that DDP fight when it come to the damage. So different versions of Chimaev could show up. But after yesterday and looking at a couple of things when it comes to the actual weigh-ins and stuff, you're going to look at Hamzat Chimaev getting this one done early. That's what he's going to go for. He's going to go for the takedown. He's going to go for the submission. And Sean Strickland's never been submitted in the UFC. So let's just say that even though I said maybe I was looking into things a bit too much, this fight could be the one where the most it ends up looking like that Kamaru Usman fight. And it's very interesting. Sean Strickland's no Kamaru Usman when it comes to his grappling, submission, but can Hamzat get the submission? Does he need it? Will he take Sean down and just ground and pound his head through the floor? Maybe. But Hamzat does run about shouting, screaming, and then does something else in the octagon, and it's very hard to tell. But I think with how this one's went and how built up it is and how just ratty both these men are, no one's going to give up easy. And I think if Strickland's going via submission, I think he's going out cold. I think if Hamzat is going out at the later rounds, I think he's fighting until he can't physically do anything anymore. The quitting allegations from Sean Strickland is true. Look, we can be honest here. We all seen the report. Hamzat Chimaev did retire from this sport whenever I think he had COVID or a cold, one of the two, and he retired. Sean Strickland said he was there when he walked off the mat. Then Chimaev, on the other hand, the sparring allegation, saying that he submitted Strickland multiple times, and not only him saying that, Sean Strickland admitting it. There is so many compartments to this fight. There's so many factors contributing to the result of this one. It's a tough pick because common sense tells me to pick Hamzat Chimaev via early submission, which is probably what I'm going to go for here to play it safe and to get the pick right. But I would not be shocked if Sean Strickland takes him over in the later rounds, survives the first 2 rounds, survives the submission attempts, gets himself out of those dangerous ground and pound positions, gets up and starts working the body of Chimaev. Then maybe we hit round 3 and you got Joe Rogan going, I don't know how he ever made 170, and then you look at the octagon and Chimaev's struggling a bit, he's breathing a bit heavier, maybe there's a bit of damage on him. Then we get to the championship rounds, and there's a lot of things with Sean Strickland, like you could say his grappling is his weak point here, and that's something that Chimaev holds over him a lot, because even Chimaev's striking compared to Strickland's, like Chimaev's got alright striking and good power. The one thing that separates these two in my opinion is the cardio. Sean Strickland is the one to beat Israel Adesanya and Hamzat Chimaev. Those middleweight all-time conversations are going to get very interesting, but I'm going to take Hamzat by submission early, but like I said, do not be shocked if Sean Strickland gets him out of there late or beats him on decision 48-47, because I think that could happen. I think Strickland could go out there. I think after a couple of rounds, he will get used to the pace, he will get used to the pressure. In my opinion, Chimaev's going to have to do everything he can to get through this one and get it done early, because I truly think if this fight goes late, Hamzat Chimaev struggles a lot, so he's the safe pick here and I'm going to go with him. But like I said, watch out for Sean Strickland, because there's been a lot of stuff going into this build up. Both men aren't going to go down easy, but Sean Strickland's fight style combined with that motivation is insane, and it's something that a lot of fighters cannot cope with. Even if you look in the last fight, Sean Strickland just breaks people. That Fluffy Hernandez fight, so look, we'll see. I'm going to take Hamzat by early submission, but Sean Strickland late. How about that? 2 halves of the fight, and those are my explanation for the 2 of them, but Hamzat early submission, that's what it is. I also have Daniel Dubois to defeat Fabio Wardley. I thought I'd just mention this. Fabio Wardley is sound. Interacted with him a few times on Twitter, but per usual, don't go looking for the old videos, but let's just say Daniel Dubois is one of my favourite fighters and has been for a very long time. I just think that he'll be able to outbox Wardley, to be honest, and keep it up and keep up the damage and eventually stop him, because even when he doesn't knock you out cold, Daniel Dubois is one of the most damaging fighters there is. This doesn't do justice to Fabio Wardley, but I have to get this video out for the UFC, and I feel like this fight's bigger. Fabio Wardley is a very, very dangerous puncher and a very good fighter with a comeback mentality that is unmatched. Do not be surprised if he wins either, but I've got to pick Daniel Dubois out of both those fighters as well. It's going to be an insane fight, but do not forget, subscribe, come back. If anyone even sees this video, I'd be shocked because I put it out too late, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and I will be live for Wardley, Dubois, and most importantly UFC 328 going down tonight. Do not miss it. Got a lovely prediction video.